everyone, this is Chetan Singhal. Welcome to my channel Stats Shine, where knowledge shines to make you shine. In this video, we'll be learning some formulas to calculate probability, like probability of A union B, and some other stuff, and some examples covering probability. So in my earlier videos, I've explained about probability, axiomatic approach to probability, and different events like mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So please watch out the links below and watch those videos, right? So let's start. So as we know that if we define these events, so we have one event A and one event B, right? This is A, this is B. This shaded P portion is nothing but A intersection B, right? And this is A intersection B dash. B dash means B complement. So this, if you see, is nothing but A plus the intersection of event B dash. B dash means not B. So not B is this one, right? So this is nothing but A intersection B bar, and this one is nothing but B intersection A dash. B dash, B complement, B bar, these all denotes not B. So at times we use different notations, but B dash, B complement and B bar denotes not B, right? So now we'll see how to calculate P of A union B, right? So consider A union B, we have is A, this A plus this one. This is nothing but B intersection A dash, right? This is first. A union B is nothing. How we define A union B? X belongs to A union B. This means that X such that X belongs to A और X belongs to B. या तो A को belong करेगा या B को belong करेगा और दोनों को भी belong कर सकता है, right? We have explained the definition in my earlier videos. One is this. Second, if we see B, how we can define B? So B is nothing but A intersection B union this B intersection A dash. This part plus this part, this whole one, right? So this is B, right? So this is events, and if you see, all these events are mutually exclusive. What do we mean by mutually exclusive? There is nothing common in between, right? There is nothing common in between these. This is different, this is different, and this is different. There is nothing common part or intersection between these elements. So using the axioms of probability, we have axiomatic approach, we can write that probability of A union B equals to P of A plus P of B intersection A dash, and we can also write that probability of B equals to probability of A intersection B plus probability of B intersection B, right? So these two equations. So now what we do is just subtract these equations, right? So this is 2, this is 3, so do 2 minus 3. What it would give? P of A union B minus P of B equals to P of A minus P of A intersection B. This will cancel out. This implies that P of A union B equals to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B, right? So we have derived the formula of P of A union B. It means the probability of A. It's not just the probability, addition of the probabilities of events A and B. We just subtract P of A intersection B also. Because if you see, this is probability of A, we say, this is probability of B, if we say, we are calculating this intersection 2 times. So we have to subtract it once. So intuitively, if we see, this formula seems to be correct, right? Now, suppose A and B are mutually exclusive. What does that mean by that? P of A intersection B equals to 0. There is nothing common between those two elements, those two sets. So what would be probability of A union B in that case? That would be P of A, just the sum of these two probabilities, right? So now consider this set, this event A. This is A. What is this outside? This is nothing but A dash, not A. And this whole is nothing but sample space, right? This is sample space. So if you see A union A dash, that would be our sample space. A union A dash. Either the element belongs to A or A dash. And A dash are mutually exclusive, right? There is nothing common. So what we say, that probability of A union A dash equals to probability of A plus probability of A dash. But our A union A dash is probability of S, because this is sample space, and we know that this is equals to 1, right? Because of the axiom that we have studied earlier, right? So this means that probability of A equals to 1 minus probability of A dash, right? So for 3 events, we have done it for 2 events. Similarly, for 3 events, the formula goes like this: probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. 3 single probabilities with a plus sign, then probability of A minus A intersection B minus probability of A intersection C minus probability of C intersection B, and plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. So this is relating to 3 elements, right? So now we'll do some examples related to these probabilities. So we have this example. We have 2 events E and F with the probability of E is 0.05, probability of F 0.10, and intersection probability is 0.02. So it's very easy to analyze these probabilities using Venn diagram. So we know that this intersection is nothing but 0.02, right? Probability of E, this combined thing is, this is E, this is F. This combined thing is 0.05. So this turns out to be 0.03, right? And this dotted portion is nothing but 0.03, because combined E is 0.05, 0.02 goes to intersection, and this 0.03 is combined, this dotted part. And F we have 0.10, so here it would be 0.08, right? So this is 0.03, this is 0.02, and this is 0.08. So if you see P of E union F, it would be nothing but P of E plus P of F minus P of E intersection F. It is 0.05 plus 0.10 minus 0.02. This is 0.15 minus 0.02, this is 0.13. And also if you see here, it's 0.03 plus 0.02 plus 0.08. So it turns out to be 0.13 only. So what is this outer portion? This is nothing but, this whole is the sample space. This is nothing but 1 minus P of A union. So this is E. So we have used the symbols E. This is E union F, right? This outer portion is nothing but 1 minus P of E union F, because this is union part, and outside that is this shaded one that I shaded just recently. So this is 1 minus, this turns out to be 1 minus 0.13 equals to 0.87. So this is nothing but 0.87, right? So we'll see that how in these terms we just mean P of E union F. What does that mean? It means that at least one of the events occur at least one of the events occur, right? This is the English version, like the English notation of these mathematical notation, E union F. Either E occurs, either F occurs, or both of them occurs. So this is the definition of E union F. At least one of the events occur, right? What is P intersection F? Equals to probability both events occur, right? So at least one of the events occur. How can we write this P of E union F? So that can be written 1 minus probability no event occurs, right? So this is simply, if you see in this example, this is simply 1 minus this outer part. This is A union B, this internal part, this is P of A union B. This means that one of the events, at least one of the events has occurred. So in this case, if we calculate P of E union F this way, P of no events occur means this thing, outside one, and that turns out to be 0.87, and this is 0.13, right? So P of E union F is nothing but probability that at least one of the events occur, and that is nothing but 1 minus probability of no event occurs. So probability of no event occurs is nothing but 0.87, the way we have calculated over here. It's nothing but 1 minus P of E union F only. So this is, so if I just draw another diagram, so this is the shaded portion, that is E union F, and here the shaded portion is nothing but the complement of E union F. This is at least one of the events occur, this is none of the event occurs, right? So these two are the complementary events, E union F, at least one occurs and no event occurs, right? So this is the way we can calculate the probabilities using the formulas of this, right? So now we'll do an example. So we have to form a committee of 2 persons from a collection of 2 men and 2 women. So we have to select 2 persons from 2 men and 2 women. We have to form a committee, and we have to find the probability that the committee formed has no men, committee formed as 1 man, committee formed as 2 men, right? So firstly, if we see what would be a denominator. So in my earlier videos, I have explained what is the meaning of permutation and combination. So please check out the video and check out the links below to understand the meaning of permutation and combination. So combination, we just only select the number of ways to select the person. So here there is no arrangement. If you see, we are not going to arrange like there is A, B, C. So this is only just the one way. So if we say A and B, there is only one way of selecting. But if you say A, B and BA, this is 2 ways of permuting it or arranging it. So here we have to only select 2 persons from here. So total we have 4. We have 4 people and we have to select 2 out of them. So this is 4C2. What do this mean? That there can be 4C2 ways to calculate total number of selections. So 4C2 is nothing but 4 factorial by 2 factorial, 2 factorial, right? So I have given this formula in my earlier videos also. So this turns out to be 4 factorial is nothing but 24 upon 2 into 2. So this is 6, right? And here no men. So what do we mean? That we have to only select the 2 women. So that would be nothing but 2C2. And from 2 men we have to select 0. So this is 1 into 1 upon 6. So this is 1 by 6. Got it? So similarly for 1 man, denominator would be same 4C2. So this is 2C1 into 2C1. What does this mean? This is select 1 man from 2, and this is 1 woman from 2. because if we have to have one man, then the number of women would be 1. So this is again 2 into 2 upon 6, 4 by 6. And in 2 men, so this would be simply 2C2, this is for men, 2C1, 2C0, this is for women, into 4C2. So this would be nothing but 1 upon 6, right? So in this way we can solve such type of questions. So now we'll do one question that involves permutation as well. So now we are going to solve this example. This is a bit tricky. So we have 5 teams A, B, C, and D and E, right? So we have to find the probability that A, B, C finish first, second and third respectively. What does that mean? That A comes first, B second and C third. So here and here we are left with D and E. So there are only 2 cases remaining. Either it would be DE or it would be ED, right? So if you see here, the position matters because we are just specifically given that A should be first, B should be second and C should be third. So here the position matters. So here total number of cases, total arrangements would be 5 factorial. That is nothing but 120. Right, so there are total arrangements, like if we see this is ABC, right? So this is one of the example that is the favorable case, but there can be D, A, B, C, E. This is one possibility, right? There can be one possibility of A, D, B, C, E, right? So there can be such 120 possibilities of each of these finishing in different orders. So here the order matters. Now we will calculate what are the favorable ones. So if you see what are the favorable ones, so we want A, B and C. This is fixed. We want this first, second and third to be A, B, C. Now here it's D, E, now E, D. So there are only 2 cases. One is this, one is this. No other than that. So favorable is 2. So what is the probability? Required probability is nothing but 2 upon 120, this is 1 by 60. So here in denominator 120 comes because there are 120 arrangements of these 5 teams of winning, right? And the favorable cases are only 2, D and ED, right? Now in B, it's just mentioned that A, B, C are first 3 to finish, right? So here if we see, so total arrangements will remain 120 only, right? Total arrangements in this case will remain 120 only. But what are favorable cases? So we want that A, B, C should be finished first. So this is one of the case. So one case would be B, C, A. Other case would be A, C, B. Something like. So here also the positioning is mattering, right? So here position is mattering, right? So what we have to do is favorable case would be nothing. So we have A, B, C. If you see these 2 cases, right? So in this case, there are 3 factorial ways in which we can arrange this ABC, A, B, C, C, A, B, B, C, A. There will be 6 ways, right? Similarly, here also there would be 3 factorial equals to 6 ways, right? So here 6 ways, here 6 ways. So the favorable cases would be nothing but 2 into 3 factorial. So our probability is nothing but 2 into 6 upon 120, that is 1 upon 10, right? So here if you see, we are given that A should be first, B should be second, C should be third. But in second, we are only given that A, B, C should finish in the first 3 positions. So that could be A, C, B or B, C, A or any position. But A, B, C should finish at first 3 positions, right? So A, B, C, if we arrange A, B, C, there are 6 ways to arrange those. So but there are 2 at the end one also. This is D and E, this is E and D. So there are 2 cases at the end also. So we will just have 3 factorial 2 times. So this 6 plus 6, 12 ways. So the probability is 1 by 10. So hope you have understood the concept of probabilities and different examples to calculate the probabilities in different cases. So if you like the content and the explanation, please subscribe my channel and please like the videos. Thank you and keep shining.